reality already there. So since you accept that there is a vibrational reality already there, then a source is there with you with it. In other words, it's a vibrational reality that already exists. And source is calling you on this path of least resistance to the full realization of it. So what's the first thing that's going to happen? Ideas about it, your clarification about it, the emotion about it. And when that emotion that you feel about it feels exciting, when it is exhilarating to you to think about it, that means that the manifestation is well underway, because it's a very short distance from that vibrational state of being where you're joyful, even in the absence of it. It feels in almost immediately under those conditions. But most people don't allow themselves to be in that joyful state unless it has already happened. In other words, they want to see it before they feel like this. So that brings us to the most important discussion that we will ever have with any of you, which is unconditional joy, unconditional positive expectation, unconditional. The vehicle isn't there yet, but the joy about it is. Because when the joy about something is there, it has to morph into the full realization of it. It is illogical. It cannot not be. But you can't be discouraged and go there. You can't be disappointed and get there. You see what we're talking about? You got to find the vibration first. Now we know. There are so many things that you do relative to your action. And so it feels like, well, if I could just work more, if I could just make more money, if I could just find some way. And yes, we're not saying that all of those things won't be part of the process that will bring you to what you're wanting. We're just saying you can't get there from discouragement, but you can get there from joy. So the answer to your question is, if it turns you on and lights you up to think about it, then do all of that you can. But do it for the lighting up, not because you need the vehicle. That's the piece that we so much want you to hear. If you're imagining and feeling good, that's success. But so often you say, you have this ulterior motive. Okay, I'll do that so that I can get that. And if that's the motive, then since you haven't got that, then this gets old. But if you're doing this, if you're finding the thought of it because it thrills you to find the thought of it, if it feels good to think about it.
I'm afraid it's giving me more joy thinking about it than actually doing it.
Well, here's the thing. If something is giving you joy, it's coming. But if you're afraid, it's not. If you let it occur to you, it's occurring to you in your state of alignment. And in your state of alignment, there's a progression that's happening. So this goes to your first question. Don't try so hard. Don't try to script it into being. Just allow it into being. Can you feel the difference? Can you feel the difference between demanding it and just allowing it? Don't try so hard.
So don't overthink it. Just only let it come when you feel it.
Care about how you feel. Care about how you feel mostly. When you say, I'm almost afraid, so that little feeling of discomfort that sometimes comes is mild, but you can morph that or shift that by remembering how nimble it is, by remembering how robust it is, by remembering how solid it is, by remembering how secure it is, by remembering how good it feels, by thinking about how it smells. So now you're really scripting. Now you're seeing yourself in it. Now you're really feeling it. Now that's really positive, strong momentum. In other words, a conversation like this took you away from the idea and the emotion into something. If we can convince you that getting yourself feeling this will lead so swiftly to that, but you got to find a way to this. And almost no one really finds the way to that, because this is shrouded in doubt and timetables and how long and sacrifices. So you got to get purely to this. And we get purely to this, as you really did in this discussion, then it's very quick.
Thank you for your time. We hope you enjoy this video and will share it with others to help those in need. Subscribe now for our next video.
What's going on, guys? Give me a second here. Woo. Stop sharing. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to another Woke Wednesday. Super excited to be here with you guys tonight. We have a super special edition of Woke Wednesday tonight. Let me just spotlight myself for everybody. Awesome. So how many of you guys, drop a 7 if you guys were on the Tradehouse Queens movie night call? Woo! Movie night. How many of you guys were on movie night? Better yet, how many of you have been introduced to the movie Samadhi? If you weren't on the call, how many of you have seen Samadhi? Awesome. Samadhi is when I saw it, shout out to Katt. I know Siv was on the call, maybe Katt's with him. She introduced me to Samadhi and I had no idea what it was. And I tapped in on Gaia. If you don't have Gaia, you are sleeping. That is like all Woke Wednesday is about, is everything that's on Gaia. So if you need a show to watch and you're flicking through Netflix, you're not going to find the show that you need to be watching, but you need to get Gaia because Gaia is the Netflix of the woke community. Okay. So yes, Gaia is the best. It's the best. Love it. It puts me to sleep every night. They have meditations on there. They have documentaries. They have interviews. They have really, really cool stuff on there. So go check out Gaia. But Samadhi is actually on YouTube as well. So if you guys haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. It's just a really eye-opening movie and it teaches you about self and self-image. And without me going too much into it, a few of the queens are on the call and we want to do a special discussion about Samadhi, about self-image, and that's gonna be some of the stuff that we discussed tonight. So let me get these ladies up. Shawna, you can unmute. I'm gonna add you. Can I add you to the spotlight? How do I do that? And Arielle, my girl.
Hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling?
There we go. Yay. Yes, Kirsten, you have to go check it out. Go watch Samadhi, but we are going to have a discussion on it. Donna, are you there? Are you there, babe? You're going to be, yes. Okay, let me add.
Hey, everybody. I'm here.
Yay. All right. Is Katt getting on the discussion? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
It's all good. So, you guys watch it for the first time today, or have you guys seen Samadhi before?
That was personally my first time.
I would love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, Kat's on the call as well, so I will definitely allow her to give her thoughts because for me, watching this for the first time, it was personally a little bit confusing to say the least. It was just a very mind-provoking movie. And it really makes you question the whole idea of not just being woke and breaking out from the matrix of this world, but of this world that we're living in, but also the whole idea of ego and what are we really going after day to day, and that even being an element of the matrix. And so there was also some the movie is filled with very interesting imagery. I'll just say that. It really kept me watching. That's for sure. But I definitely want to hear Arielle's perspective as well.
So it wasn't my first time watching Samadhi. It was my second. I remember in the beginning of my journey, I messaged Vargas and I was like, I want to watch something woke. And he sent me that. And when I tell you, watching something like that on the beginning of your journey, on your just the start of, I guess, the start of my journey in Tradehouse was like, whoa, like a lot of it I can probably tell you like I didn't fully appreciate. And so just watching it again and actually, being a little bit further on my journey and understanding some of the things that I do understand now, it was like I could appreciate it so much more. Like I like some of the stuff that they would say, like, they would have those pauses and I would fill it in. Like, it'd be like, well, like that's like it's you, it's me. It's like it was really, really just eye-opening again, because a lot of the times I myself personally, I hear a lot of the things that they were going over, like self and ego and just breaking out of the matrix, and that a lot of what we experience is ourselves, is, we create, what we experience. We are the ones that have the power to, really create, tap in, tune in to what is actually going on around us. But in a lot of cases and a lot of instances, sorry, we we choose to kind of ignore it. We kind of choose to ignore some of the things that go on around us, and we choose to ignore ourselves and what we're actually choosing to experience and suffer through. A lot of what everything that is going on around us, even our ego is created by us. And just understanding that, how do I put this, just understanding that we, as the creators of everything, I don't know how to fully say it without confusing people, but as creators, we pretty much have the ability to understand and transform our experience into what we want it to be. But again, it's us. It's like, the ego gets in the way. And yeah, I definitely want to hear kind of what what Katt experienced from the movie, because I definitely do want to get into more of a discussion about it. But it was really amazing to watch it again and
Katt
just see it
might
from a different.
on baby duty. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh, she's
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yay. Yes, we can hear you.
But this is like the fourth time I've seen it. But I kind of wasn't paying attention the whole time I had Raja on me. But if you remember the beginning, what the first word they talk about is Samadhi. And Samadhi is the state of not allowing the ego or any emotion getting to you. It's just stillness, but not feeling anything, if that makes any sense, right? And the whole point of the film is to really just look at the way that we live our life. Like the world revolves around us because we only know our mind. We only know the world around us. Yes, we may have past lives and so forth, but who really remembers them? I don't know if anyone else does, but the only thing that we know is this world and the perspective that we have. And if you looked at the beginning of the film, it was talking about, children, how they're born into the world, and if you look into their eyes, it's emptiness. They know nothing. They have no definition, no perspective, no understanding of anything, and they're in samadhi because they don't know anything. They don't know the feeling of happiness until they know and understand and we teach them that's happiness. So it's getting back to that state of pure stillness and not putting a definition to everything and not letting everything, getting yourself out of like the world revolves around me. we will all say that it doesn't, but it kind of does, because this is all we know at the end of the day. But that's like every time I watch this film, that's what I get out of it. Get out of your head and you don't have to interpret everything. Yes, have an understanding of it, but the point of the ego is to get to conclusions, right? That's the ego's there to protect us, and it's gonna find conclusions, it's gonna want answers and stuff, but the soul doesn't need that. The soul just wants stillness, the soul just wants peace. And getting to Samadhi is like letting go of that ego part. The ego will always be there because the ego is part of our body. The ego will die when our body dies, right? But it's getting back into the soul and getting in tune with Samadhi, and just not putting a definition to everything, and just living in that flow state. Like even with Raja, my son, he would literally just look up in the sky and start laughing and like looking at things, and I'm talking to him and I'm telling him about puppies and all that kind of stuff, but he doesn't know anything, right? He literally has no definition of anything, and he's in that Samadhi state. But the moment he can understand, like what they said, the example of the bird. This is a bird. His mind is forming definitions, it's forming conclusions. And that's how we build, those programs. That's how we start building programs. And that's how we start building those masks. Because when we understand that this is what's supposed to be this is how we're supposed to do these things, we enter this world of society of this is that, if it's not, then you're wrong. We start putting on these different masks and put on these different roles. And the movie literally went into that, and what's going on in the world and everything like that. But yeah, the point of the movie is to enter the state of Samadhi, and the second movie really dives into how you can get back into that state. So if you didn't see the first one, go see the first one, and then we're probably going to do the second one, show that one. But yeah, that's what I got out of it.
That's amazing. And I love the way Katt breaks everything down. She's so deep and soulful. And I love you, Katt. Thank you for that. And I didn't watch it tonight. I was a little bit busy, and sorry if I have a lot of background noise. I'm actually at an event with my team tonight, but making sure that I'm here for you guys. So I actually have watched Samadhi about like 4 or 5 times. I feel like every time you watch it, you get something different out of it. You hear something different. But I love how Katt touched on the point that they make about putting on masks, right? The whole movie is really, if you just want to think about it, simply, it's about self-image and taking away the ego. I don't know if any of you have ever saw the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, and he has that green mask on, and it's like he's a totally different person when he has the mask on than when he has the mask off. And it's kind of how we are as humans, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So when we are alone with ourselves and we are in our own state of being, without anyone around, there's no ego attached to our being at that point, because we're with ourselves, we're in our own thoughts, we're with our own soul, right? So you can honestly say, I personally can say that when I am alone, I am my truest self, right? But when you're with a certain group of people, you put on a certain mask, you put on your ego, right? And you put on a mask for certain groups of people. And a lot of people have different masks for different people and groups that they hang out with, right? So Samadhi, for those of you who don't know, it's basically just like the highest point of consciousness that you could be in. And like how they discuss is babies are so pure and they're not conditioned yet. They don't have any paradigm yet. They don't have any mental conditioning that they've been given. Yes, there's genetic conditioning, and that's like a whole nother Woke Wednesday, because I can go on for like an hour about that. But Samadhi is just basically like getting to your truest form of self, getting in touch with your soul. the mind-soul connection, the mind-body-soul connection, right? Because we're physical beings we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, right? And it's not only about the physical. So many of us are focused only on the physical, right? When in reality, we really have to focus on the spiritual, on the mind, on the mental, on what goes on behind the scenes of the physical. Because literally, this is a shell, right? We're all given a shell, and we are not our bodies. And we discussed this. I discussed this. I don't know if it was last week or whatever, but you know, you are not. If I were to ask you, who are you, right? Most of you would answer by saying your name, right? Like Shawna, if I said, "Who are you?" what would your first response be? Shawna, right? But you're not your name. Think about this. It's a little deep. But if you were your name, you would not say my name. When you refer to your name, you don't say I'm name. You say my name. Your name is a part of you, but it isn't who you are. Neither is your physical body. We don't refer to our body as I'm body. We refer to our body as my body. It's a part of us, but it isn't actually who we are. So Samadhi is basically getting to a true, deep, clear understanding of who you are as a spiritual entity, and not as this human, this physical that we portray to the world. And everything is perspective, right? And what does perspective mean? Perspective is point of view, right? So we all have different points of views. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Everything just kind of is, right? And once we learn to accept things as they are and know that we only have the power to change certain things about ourselves, and we don't have the power to change other people, other things, other circumstances. We only have the ability to change how we respond to certain circumstances. That helps you reach a certain level of ascension, right? And I feel like Samadhi is the ultimate level of ascension, right? And every single thing that we do to become more spiritually awake brings you to another level. You're just like moving up in ascension, right? You're moving up levels. And so many of us feel like we're woke. We think we're woke. We feel like we've had spiritual awakenings. But if we really truly were woke, we might intellectually understand these concepts, right? But if we actually were spiritually woke, we wouldn't be searching so hard for the answers. Right? I heard someone say that on I think it was Jay Shetty's podcast. I forget who said it. It might have been him actually. And he says, like, so many of us are searching for this soul connection, for this connection to something other than what's here. And we do our research and we meditate and we do calls like this and we watch Gaia and we watch Samadhi and we intellectually understand. But if we really truly understood on a spiritual level, we wouldn't be searching, right? And I thought that was really interesting. If you guys don't know Jay Shetty, you should definitely listen to him. He's unbelievable. He was a monk for many, many years. He's super woke. He has a really great podcast. You should definitely go check him out. And he speaks a lot on this topic of, like, who are we, being spiritual beings, having this physical experience, and what ultimate consciousness is, and really understanding who it is that we are and what our purposes are here as spiritual beings. I don't know if you guys want to comment at all. I know Shawna's a little under the weather.
Well, so whenever you were saying about the shell, my question that came to mind when I was watching the video is if we are born as different people, like everyone looks different, why do you think that if we are just here to remain in our true consciousness, that we all look so different in ourselves in this world?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we all look different because we're here to learn lessons, right? And being in the human experience, we're all a piece of source, in my opinion, and from my studies and what I believe is that we're all a piece of source, right? And or God, whatever you want to call it, and we're placed into this physical human body. So we're placed here in the human realm to learn lessons. And I think that a lot of the lessons we learn have to do with diversity and learning how to understand other pieces of source. And if we all looked physically the same, it would be a little difficult to understand differences that we have in each other, if that makes sense. And this was just like, you just threw this at me, so I'm just
I just put you on the spot. I know.
But no, but it's a really interesting question, but I feel like that's definitely part of my answer. Like, we're here to learn things, and if we all looked physically the same, like there wouldn't be as many lessons to learn.
Yeah.
You know, like think of how many lessons we learn about like bullying and physical appearance in, you know, the sense of beauty, like what is ultimate beauty, like what's the actual definition, perfection or natural or whatever. You know, I think we would take a big loss as spiritual beings in lessons learned if we did all look the same, in my opinion. Do you have something to add?
Yeah, I like that. It really just that whole little conversation just really opened my mind, and it really made me think about just going back to, you know, some of the things that I've heard before, you know, like I am you and you are me. It's like, could it be that we all look different because we're supposed to, you know, again, like you said, kind of learn those lessons in love, that we have to love everyone and everything that comes with everyone, because I am you and you are me. So could it essentially be a lesson in love? You know, maybe the people that you meet, the people that you interact with on a daily basis, there's something within them that is within you, but you have yet to learn to love it. And so it just, you know, kind of just really made me think like, wow, like, yeah, like I'm still thinking, I'm still processing, but that's what's going through my head right now. I don't know if Katt has anything to say about it, or even anybody else that's on the call.
Might
Feel
be
free
on
to,
Mama.
you know, hop in.
Yeah, like this is an open call. I mean, yeah, the girls are having a conversation, but if anyone has anything they want to add, I would love to hear from some of the viewers. Johnny, Javier, Sandra, Harrison. If you guys have anything to add, you feel free to unmute yourself. Ah, okay. No biggie, no biggie.
Yeah, if not, another topic I was really curious about for the movie is they went a lot over religion in the beginning, and then toward the end they really went back to like the Egyptian times. And you have to remind me what the god's name is with the bird.
Oh, I forgot, to be honest. I'm bad.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember that's on the call?
Oh, THOTH.
Thoth. I think I said it right.
That.
Yes.
There you go.
And so I'm personally interested in it because I grew up Buddhist, and in the religion that I grew up in, there was actually 10 different worlds that you experience in this lifetime. And I have it pulled up here in front of me just to go over them real quick. The lowest level is hell. Then you have hunger, you have like the animalistic characteristic, Asuras, I'm actually not sure what that is. Human beings, heavenly beings, voice hearers, awakened ones, and then the last two is where you reach the Bodhisattvas or the Buddha state. And so that kind of reminded me of Samadhi in a way, and that you've reached, this enlightenment. And so, I've also gone to church, so I've also learned a lot about Christianity as well, and I'm just very open to learning and understanding different points of views. And so the Egyptians also had, there's always like the videos and documentaries in Gaia that go back to both, and this one even mentioned Metatron as well, which I thought was really, really interesting. And so I think that it would be really great to continue part 2, especially if it expands on this, because I would really like to understand even more in depth about Metatron and Thoth and how this integrates with Samadhi.
I think that's a really awesome connection that you have, and I would love to hear more about the religion that you grew up in, being Buddhist, because a lot of the ideals I think are similar in what we talk about a lot in spirituality, and I'm really interested. I've never studied religion before. I'm Jewish, and I've been to church before. I know a little bit about religion, but it's not really my strong suit. So I feel like that's something that could definitely help me in understanding a little bit more of spirituality. But in my opinion, all religions have a similar like goal in mind. They all tell stories that are like maybe not necessarily real, but they're all to teach you lessons, right? So it's something to believe in. And I think we're all looking and searching for something to believe in, right? But Buddhism, in my opinion, I don't know too much, but I feel like more than a religion, it's really a belief system, right? I'm not like on the right path.
Yeah, and I think the point of the movie was that you're seeking outside of yourself, whether versus from within, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we teach a lot about and talk a lot about, is knowing that you cannot expect to feel fulfilled searching for an outside element, right? You have to really go deep within yourself to figure out what your purpose is and what fulfills you. No outside source is going to do that for you. You really need to go deep inside yourself, figure that out. So I think that's a lot about Samadhi as well, is like understanding that you can't just go on the outside for that, anything, for any what's the word I'm looking for? Validation. The outside world is not going to give you the validation that you need. Only you can really give you the validation that you need. No one else can motivate you the way that you motivate you, right? So you have to look within yourself in order to get the things that you want in this life. Looking for it to an outside source is not going to grant you it is that you need. I am hearing the echoing too, and I believe that I X'd out the YouTube, but I'm just going to X out like all of my tabs to make sure. Maybe it's because one of us is we all muted while talking. Hold on. Let's try that. Is that better? Is it echoing now?
Yeah, that's better.
You're way
Okay.
better.
Okay, so like when one person's speaking, let's just all mute. But yeah, and I think there's a theme, right? There's always a theme of we're all looking for something. We're all looking for that greater connection. And a lot of us look for an external thing to give us that connection, to give us that, you know, even like a partner in life. Like so many of us look for someone or something to give us that validation, that happiness, that feeling, when in reality we really have to look within ourselves for that, right? Looking inside instead of looking outside. This was an amazing conversation. I love it. I think next time I would like to come up with, maybe we can all come up with some questions so it's a little more organized for each other and we could take it from there. I would love to do a meditation. Who's down for a meditation? Drop a 7 in the chat if you guys would love to do a meditation, or if anybody has anything they want to add, I would love to hear from anybody. If anybody has any more feedback about Samadhi or anything that we talked about tonight. All right, cool. So let me get a meditation for us. Let's see. Hold on. All right. All right. So everyone.
Hey, it's Brian from.
Just make sure you are in a comfortable position. Seated, laying down, maybe dim the lights, light a candle, take a deep breath. If you want to turn your camera off, feel free if it makes you more comfortable. Of course, no matter what, I still want to be here for you guys. I love you guys. I love Wolf Wednesday. I never want to miss it. So I'm in another room, but of course, thank you for being part of the discussion. I love you guys. All right, here we go. Let me share my computer sound.
Comfortable seated position, feeling your sit bones balanced on either side. Letting your spine become tall and straight. Shoulders rolled back slightly to open up your heart. Place your palms in your lap, facing upwards to receive all the beautiful positive energy you generate and attract. And as it feels good to you, lovingly close your eyes. Take a moment to simply become aware of your breath, noticing any sensations, any muscles you're engaging, perhaps even becoming aware of a sense of gratitude for your breath, noticing the miracle of it. Feel yourself in your body, becoming aware of the sensations of the points of contact between you and the surface on which you are seated. Once you feel yourself more present in your body and connected to your breath, you become aware of a glowing ball of golden light placed just before your heart. This light sparkles and shimmers with radiant positive energy. You might feel its warmth, perhaps a tingling sensation. What do you notice? We are about to take 3 deep breaths. When we do so, you will be breathing in the light of this sphere in front of you, welcoming in the warmth and the love into your heart on every inhale. And on every exhale, you will see it flowing through every cell in your being. Let's begin. Breathe in, stomach and ribcage fully expands. Moving at a pace that feels good to you, feeling the light enter into your heart, hold your breath at the top. And when you're ready, exhale powerfully through your mouth, feeling this light travel into every cell in your body. Whenever you reach the bottom of that breath, at your own pace, take another deep breath in. Stomach and ribcage expand fully as you inhale, welcoming in the light into your heart, holding the breath momentarily at the top. And when you're ready, blow it all out powerfully, feeling the light travel to every cell in your being. And at the bottom of that breath, do it one more time, really make it count. Stomach and ribcage fully expand, the warm light enters into your heart. Breath is held momentarily as you feel the positive energy. And when you're ready, exhale with a sigh, letting it all go, feeling it traveling throughout your entire body, lifting you up, lighting you up. And then return to breathing at a pace that feels good to you. What do you notice now in your body? Affirm to yourself, I am positive energy. You become a magnet for even more positive energy when you recognize that it is what you are. It's what you are made of. You see that ball of golden glowing light before you, and it begins to move closer and closer, welcoming you in until you and this glowing orb of positive energy are one. It's as if you are not even a body anymore. You are pure, positive energy. Let go, connect in, breathe, and be. You are this light, this radiant, exuberant light, this energy that creates worlds. Feel your positive power. Spend several moments simply being this energy. There's no other desired outcome. There's no other thought. You simply are this energy. You now begin to become aware of yourself as a magnet for more positive energy. You see more positivity radiating towards you. This causes the glowing orb of light to become bigger and bigger. How big do you see and feel it now? Are you as this positive light, this positive energy? Are you the size of a house, a town, a city? Have you already expanded out across the entire planet? What do you feel? Move at a pace that feels good to you. Feeling yourself grow and expand. There are no limits to this. You can grow and expand outward as positive energy infinitely, magnifying and attracting more. And as you do so, not only do you attract it, you send it out across the world. You mirror the positive energy all around you. Feel yourself embodying this until you feel this energy expanding across the entire universe, until all there is positive energy. Begin to bring your awareness back to your physical body right here and now, pulling in all that energy, feeling your sit bones, perhaps moving them from side to side, maybe stretching your arms and legs, feeling your body coming back online, full of exuberant positive energy. And you carry this feeling with you as you begin to roll your shoulders, wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes, carrying this beautiful positive energy with you everywhere you go throughout the rest of your day.
All right, you guys can start to come back, wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll your shoulders, start to feel yourself coming back. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. All right, guys, thank you again for another week in the books of Woke Wednesday. Thank you all for being so loyal. I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you. And I can't wait to see you guys next Wednesday. Love you guys.